How's it going? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. This is the greatest goddamn show on air, and I am the Cole Clayton, Snipping Glue 22 on all platforms, and my lovely sister Ruby Red. How you doing? How you doing? We already did the how you doing. You wanted to talk about something that I feel like is TMI, but it is an interesting concept nonetheless. Let's go ahead and go ahead.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, women's period cycles, their menstrual cycles, will sync up if you're in close proximity for like a long amount of time. And it's really weird. Even to me, it's weird because it's like, how can something in your body make my body do something? Because for my uterus to know that there are other women around, would my uterus have to have a fucking conscience? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know that there's women around to be able to fucking? And why? Why do our periods sync up anyway? Like, is it like a Power Rangers move? Like, are we
It's
gonna become
probably
Super Saiyan?
it's gotta have something to do with um like almost like you know how like there's a season that like deer mate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gotta have something to do with that where like all of you women become I guess fertile or whatever, ready to mate at the same time.
yeah,
So
because
that
the
when the
cycle
men come
syncs up.
back from the woolly mammoths or whatever with the food on their backs and all that shit, it's time to make babies. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that kind of
And that's what
vaguely
I
makes sense.
concluded. I concluded it has to go back to tribal days when women and men were all just living in such close proximity. And it would be obnoxious to have a bunch of women bleeding everywhere at different times. If you could all bleed at the same time, that'd be fucking nice. So, so
Fair enough.
that's what happened
Could
pretty
you
much.
could you ladies get it together?
Can we do this once a month for all of you, please? And I guess they just listened. So, but yeah, it's just really weird, you know. And it
Because
sucks that
women fall in line.
it sucks that like
You
talking
didn't even
about
want to. You didn't want to deal with that
fuck you,
comment.
fuck you. It listened. The uterus listened apparently because now we just. But I was thinking, is it something like super cool? Like we have a built-in superpower we don't know, and if you get a bunch of women on their cycle at the same time and we like hold hands or something, are we gonna like light up? I don't know. It's a cool concept. But
So
the other part about menstrual cycles and everything that pisses me off is that everyone, even you, thinks it's TMI, right? But just the other day, I asked a customer, I was handing him his plate of food. I'm like, is that egg okay? I know it broke. The egg was like leaking out. I'm like, I know it broke. Like, do you want another egg? And he's like, no, because it'll be shit in 24 hours anyway. And, we had a laugh. We had a laugh. But why
I
is it okay for
didn't hear
people?
all that either.
Why are people okay? Like, they can say, oh, I got to take a piss or I got to go take a shit. But when it comes to I'm on my period and I'm in a lot of pain, it's like, oh, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear about that.
I gotta be honest with you. That's TMI too.
But I'm in pain. That's the part you're not understanding. Like, it's not like, oh, I just have to
No,
go relieve myself. I'm in pain and it's affecting me, and you want me to pretend it's not going on.
I kind of just don't believe you though. Like if
Really?
I'm honest,
Really?
I
You don't
kind of
believe
just
me?
don't believe you. Yeah.
You don't believe me. Clay, I had
No,
to leave
I
work
don't. I'm
early
not
the other day.
saying it doesn't hurt. That's not
It
what I'm
hurt.
saying. I'm sure it does. I am saying that all women, the word bitch comes from a woman. Like that's what that stems from. You know what I mean? Like
You think we're bitches,
you
like
got
we're being pussies about it.
yeah, like cause I know there's a yeah, okay, so like that's another thing is when I call a woman a bitch, I don't ever mean like, oh, she's being a bitch, like fuck her or whatever. I mean, you're being kind of a bitch, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like when
And
I
you know
call a
what?
dude a bitch, or like a pussy
And
or
you know
whatever,
what? I can understand that because at the end of the day, I'll never be able to know if men's pain tolerance is the same as women. Like we just can't test to see that, So we're
I
never gonna
have
know.
been told by reputable sources that women have a higher pain tolerance, which is weird to think about because it seems like you bitches are always in pain. But
That's why it's higher.
but men but men suck it up better.
You probably do. And you know what? You probably do. And honestly, my pain tolerance is to the ground. Like, I'm a little bitch when it comes to pain, right? So when I get my period and I left work early the other day because it was so bad. Because not only is it pain, there's other things that come with it. I get these weird shakes, like my hands will start shaking and my legs will feel like they're going to fall out from underneath me. Like, you ever had pain so bad, like your knees just want to like fall and like give out? It's what it felt like. It
Dude,
felt
I
like
have like neck problems like out the wazoo because I have such bad posture. And I don't know. I just deal with it.
Well,
Just
no,
live
imagine
with it.
you got kicked in the balls and you drop to your knees, right? I'm not saying it's like that, but the pain is so bad and so constant, my legs just feel weak and they feel like they're gonna give out. I had to go. Now I know that I'm a little bitch because almost none of my other coworkers have to call out on their cycle. We're all women, so we just talk about it. I'm the only one who has to like leave early because it hurts. I can't sit here and act like I care about what you're saying. Like, I'm in pain right now. I don't give a fuck about what you have to say to me. And then we get angry, but do you know why we get angry? The surge in the what's it called? Hormone that makes us angry is testosterone.
Right.
Women get a surge of testosterone. Y'all walk around with that shit every day. I can only imagine. Because when I'm on my cycle, you can say one thing to me and I'm ready to go. Like the other day, my manager said something about, when y'all go to grab lemons, can y'all only grab lemons from one bag? Like, don't open multiple bags. And yeah, that makes sense. But when I heard her say that, bro, I wanted to fight her in that moment. In that moment, I wanted to fight her. But I was like, calm down.
I think that's
Calm
a
down.
common misconception
Calm
about
down.
testosterone. It's not that you get angry easily. I think it's about like it makes you want to display your dominance.
That's
You know
what
what I
it made
mean?
me want to like flare my nose and like talk mad shit and be like, who gives a fuck how many bags of lemons I open? At least I'm doing my fucking job around here, bitch. No,
Right.
I couldn't say that because I knew deep down, I'm like, I don't
Like
really
it
feel that
almost
way.
makes
I'm
you
just on
want
my mental cycle.
it makes you crave respect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it
you
literally.
ain't gonna talk to me like that. Like that's where all this like sudden like puffing my chest out and trying to fight motherfuckers and getting out of my car in the middle of traffic lately has been because I've been working out and smoking cigars and drinking whiskey lately. I've boosted my testosterone out, like it skyrocketed this year in 2024 because I'm doing all the necessary things that a 30-year-old man is supposed to be doing. Like I know I've been lazy all throughout my 20s, but now that I'm working out again, I feel like I'm 19 again.
Yeah,
It's crazy, dude.
yeah. When I get on that surge of testosterone, it literally makes me feel like, who the fuck are you, and why are you talking to me? That literally is what it makes me feel like.
You're
But I
gonna have
got
to
it
you're gonna have to go back there and I don't know, get yourself together and then come back to me with a better attitude.
pretty much,
Trust
yeah.
me. I know
Pretty
exactly
much,
what you
yeah.
mean.
You heard about OJ?
Yeah, crazy, right?
He died.
What do you think
Do you?
about that? Are you well informed at all on
Oh,
that?
I'm very well informed. I just listened to another true crime story on his story the other day. I listen to that shit when I'm cleaning my house. Like,
Okay, so like give me your whole synopsis or opinion on OJ in general.
my opinion, I know all about everything that was said in the trial about the gloves don't fit. There's no case. Like, oh, well, he was taking this medication and he stopped and it made the knuckles swell or this or that. I think, and this is allegedly, okay, this is just a conspiracy theory that I thought sounded good. I don't believe it 100%. This is alleged. Allegedly, his son did not like Nicole and like openly told people he did not like Nicole. And the way this person explained the scenario made it seem like the son killed Nicole and OJ took them on that wild goose chase so the son could get out of town. And I don't know how they said it, but it made a lot of sense. I don't think he did it. I think maybe someone else did it. And I think he may or may not have fathered Khloe Kardashian.
There's a lot of conspiracy about that as well. You know?
I 100% believe she has a different father. I do not know if it's OJ because there were reports that the mother, Chris, was also sleeping with her hairdresser at the time named Alex or something like that. And Chloe's middle name is Alexandria.
So then Chris Kardashian's just fucking these like
She was,
flamboyant,
she was
like gay
cheating.
dudes left and right, huh? So
She was cheating.
Chris Kardashian is a beard, is what you're telling me. It's just a beard for Hollywood fairy
I mean,
tale.
you can't sit here and tell me you lived with a man for 25 years and you didn't know that he wanted to be a woman. I don't believe that for a second. You had to have known.
Yeah, which I will say, I think everybody was taken aback by that though, because Bruce Jenner, before obviously he was Caitlyn, was an athlete. Was like he was a male gold medalist.
Olympic gold
An
medal.
Olympic gold medal, like for running. Ain't no bitch gonna beat a man in running. You know what I mean? Like that's just not gonna happen. Like, okay, maybe what's that new bitch who smoked the weed or whatever? She could probably beat me in a race, but no Olympic athlete female is gonna beat an Olympic athlete male. That's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I think that just took everybody aback. But at the same time, you're right. Like, and then you tell me she dated a hairdresser. I'm sorry, there's no straight male hairdressers who's running from the woman inside. Right, but like, yeah, there's no straight male hairdressers. Come on now, like, I get that that's a lucrative job for men. It seems like they make more money than women do in that job or whatever. I don't know why, but there's no dudes who do that. Maybe like cutting hair, yeah, but not a fucking hairstylist or a fucking salon or what. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
hairdresser. If he calls himself a hairdresser, he's gay. If he calls himself a barber, all right, respect. You know, like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But back to
Or
the
am I
OJ
being a
thing.
bigot right now? Like,
No, I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, that's pretty wild to admit on the internet. Like, you're very open on here, but I definitely see where you're coming from. But back to the OJ situation, other than the whole scandal about whether or not he was a murderer and the whole thing about whether or not he was Khloe Kardashian's father, I actually don't know what OJ Simpson was famous for. Was he famous for anything, or was he only famous
OJ
for?
Simpson, he was the first running back to run 2,000 yards in a football season.
Football player. So I feel like I heard that somewhere.
He
Football
was
player.
like the greatest running back of all time when he retired.
And now his whole fucking name is fucking tarnished, because I bet you anybody in my generation, if you asked what did OJ Simpson do, I'm like, oh, then wasn't he on trial? Like, no one remembers he was a football player these days. I didn't know that.
That's insane.
I thought he just, like, for some reason, I thought he just was good with like the Kardashians because, you know, the dad helped him get off and all that stuff. So I thought he was maybe just like famous amongst the wealthy people, because wealthy people are just like randomly famous, like Paris Hilton. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was like kind of that situation.
A black dude who's that old?
I don't know. Like I didn't really know. I
You see
thought
that more now, but like a 75-year-old black man is just rich independently. I mean, yeah, he was in movies, but nothing particularly good. Like,
I've never heard anyone talk about OJ Simpson other than him being a supposed criminal. I've never heard them bring up his football career.
a sports fan. That's just what it comes down to.
It's tarnished. Like, even strangers I've heard talk about it have never spoke about how he was once a football player. Like, this is what he's known for now.
But you're not a football fan, though. To be fair,
I watch enough football.
He retired in the 70s, so let's put it like that. So, like, yeah, it was a long ass time ago, but and then obviously what happened in the 90s, so like he was well done by the time that had happened, you know. But like that's the other thing is like I hate that something that he wasn't even like convicted of ruined his good name, because like he was a brilliant football player and we all kind of know he did it. But this is what I really wanted to talk about. Like I kind of respect him in a way, because like He was the last man in Western civilization to get away with, "Oh, you're not gonna fuck on me, bitch." You know what I mean? Like, and he got away with it.
Is
You
that
know,
supposed
like,
like, is that why
as
she
a
was
man who's been cheated on by his baby mama and it fucking destroyed me, like, I kinda like, I'm like, like, you know, like, not
is
that I
that
would ever do anything and I don't condone it, but
is that
like
what happened? Was she supposedly cheating on him and he just lost his cool and killed her?
that's
Because
kind
someone
of
did kill that
well,
woman.
I mean, he kind of like he never explicitly said why he killed her because he never admitted to killing her. You know what I mean? But like
Somebody did kill that
that's
woman.
the rumor, you know?
That's the general consensus, pretty much.
Right.
Okay, so like I said, I never knew too much of the even in the
Because it's not just his wife that was murdered that night. Her lover was murdered too with her. It was two. It was two people.
Oh, I did not do enough
It was a double homicide.
research.
Yeah.
I did not. Oh wow, I never knew that part either. That's
Yeah.
weird because I
And
literally
she
listened
was
to her.
like a 35-year-old woman, and he was a 25-year-old man. And they
Wow,
were murdered together in the same house. Which I believe it was
literally, who
his
else would have
house.
done?
I believe it was at his house.
Well, literally, who
One of
else would have
one
done
of his houses. He was he was wealthy, so he had multiple houses. But
it? Who else would have done it? That makes sense. That reminds me of the
I
fucking.
mean, there were footprints um in the blood
Somebody
of
dropped the
his,
ball.
that matched his shoes.
Somebody
That
dropped the ball.
his Italian designer like loafers, not just like oh he was wearing Nikes and there's a million Nikes in the fucking world. Now these are designer shoes from Italy that he owned that the soles matched, and they probably sold maybe I don't know a couple hundred ever, like because they
Oh
were
my god!
designer shoes. Yeah,
How did they not? How did they not convict him? That's really wild. But you know what
because
that
of
reminds me
Rodney
of?
King. Because of Rodney King. Do you know who Rodney King is?
When he is lawyer.
No, no, no. Rodney King was I forget what he was accused of, but it had something to do. He was doing something in the street around his name was a black guy, and this was caught on camera. And the
I
cops
feel
just
like I heard
whooped
that.
his fucking ass in the street in LA. Just
Yeah,
whooped it
like
like
three of them,
six
right?
cops. At least three. I don't know how many, but I'm
There's like a
exaggerating when
bunch
I
of
say
them.
six, but it could be
I
it
remember
was a
that.
lot. And they just beat his
I heard about
fucking
it.
ass. And then it was this whole thing. They fucking rioted and burned fucking parts of fucking LA. Like it was a whole thing. And that
I
was in
remember that.
1991.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and then 1994 was the trial of OJ.
So wait,
And
wait, wait.
basically
That
to
was
get back at the cops and the justice system and white people, because OJ had a 10 of his 12 jury of OJ's jury was black.
oh, interesting. Did not
Yeah,
know that.
so it was like we're saying but which I get. I totally understand. Like fuck the system, fuck white people, fuck everybody, fuck cops, fuck the government. Like I get that. Like they let OJ off because of what happened to Rodney King, which is two people that had nothing to do with each other. It was
Right,
just the times.
right, right. I get that, and I do remember the Rodney King situation because I watched that movie. What was it called? The movie about NWA.
Yeah, they briefly talked about
Straight
that in
Outta
the movie.
Compton. They talked
Straight
about
Outta
it, and I
Compton.
remember because it was the first time in the history that the Bloods and the Crips like made a truce in California to it's
Over
us
Rodney
against
King,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that. So oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Interesting. But you know what this whole thing also reminds me of? How they kind of dropped the ball? Casey Anthony. I remember that case so vividly because mom was watching it, and I would think I was like eight
Well,
or nine.
George Zimmerman happened shortly after. Um,
Who?
Anthony happened in like 2009, 2010, and George Zimmerman happened, I want to say, like 2012.
George
George
Zimmerman
Zimmerman
was he
killed
killed
he killed Trayvon Martin,
Trayvon Martin. I remember that. I
and that
remember
was
that.
also in Florida. So it just seemed like in Florida, you're just allowed to kill kids. Like,
Yes, I remember that. And they let him off, didn't they? Like to this day, he's just walking free after he shot a kid for
and
and
he
he had
admitted to that.
Skittles.
He admitted. He said that like he was in fear of his life or whatever, but like before that somebody had heard him there was like a eyewitness testimony. I'm pretty sure it was like on audio. There's audio footage of him going off and saying somebody needs to do something about them, blah blah blah. You know, just making like vague racial slurs and terms. And then, you know, fucking 5 minutes later, he gunned down Trayvon Martin.
I remember that. I think I was like 11 at the time, and he was wearing a black hoodie, and he had Skittles and an Arizona tea with him. He had just
Yeah,
gone to the
dude.
convenience
And
store.
they like, and he was like being like it was like implied that he had like shoplifted or whatever. And but I don't think he did.
No,
I don't
he
think he did.
didn't. He
And
paid for the
even if he did, like you're gonna kill a 6-year-old kid over shoplifting, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like
But look,
vigilanteism is
anyone
not
like get the
legal.
fuck out of here, man.
That was great, and I remember because there was a big deal about the fact that they had found out that there was marijuana in Trayvon's system, and his mom was on the news talking about it, and she was saying, "What does it matter? What does it matter if he was high? What does it matter if he had smoked weed? Like all he was a kid walking home from the gas station, and a white man gunned him down." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly right. What does it matter? It
To be
doesn't
fair,
matter if
George
they're wrong."
Zimmerman looked Mexican. If I'm honest, his name was
Was
George
it?
Zimmerman, but he looked Mexican as fuck to me, at least. So
Oh,
I don't claim him.
that was crazy.
It is Florida. You catch a tan pretty
She
easy there.
even said, why didn't he get drug tested? He was the one who shot my son. They should have drug tested him. And that
No,
was a good point.
because then they would have hit him with fucking marijuana too, and then they're like, "Look, marijuana makes you steal Skittles and shoot people." Fuck that. That would have been a smear on weed.
No, that's what I'm saying. They did drug test Trayvon, and Trayvon had the marijuana in his system. And the mom was saying, "Who gives a shit if he was smoking weed? Why didn't they drug test the man who shot my son?"
The dude assaulted the shop owner. I don't know anything about that. I've never heard that before. Um, but even if he did, like
Then they
that's
let
no
him off.
reason to gun somebody down. Like
And vigilanteism is not
that's what we have the
allowed.
police for, technically.
That's
But I mean, the police
illegal.
probably would have done the same thing. But like assault doesn't just mean shoot somebody. Like that's the way I look at it. Like I'm only gonna bust out my piece if somebody else busts out theirs. You know,
That's
like
what I'm saying. You should only have pulled a weapon out if you were in fear for your life. And I'm sorry, but getting into a fist fight, even if there was an altercation, if y'all were gonna have a fist fight, that's not a reason to pull out a gun. If he was trying to fight, that's not a reason to pull out a gun. Unless someone like pulls a weapon on you, you shouldn't have pulled a gun out at all.
or I mean, even if you don't like, you just don't want to smoke, and somebody's trying to fight you, and you just pull out your gun and you like brandish it a little bit, you know, just hey, don't fuck with me, man. Like that's fine too. I get that, but don't like. That's no reason to fucking shoot somebody. You know what I
I
mean?
think I was having a conversation either with you or my boyfriend the other day about like if someone were to break into my house, I don't have to kill them. I could shoot them in the knee or the foot or something and call the police while he's just bleeding. Like you don't have to kill someone, even if they break into your house. And I think you should only shoot someone in self-defense if you are in a fear for your life. Like you think someone is going to kill you. Like this is the last option. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even if I, God forbid, were ever in a scenario where I thought I had to shoot someone, like I would probably hesitate because I'd be like, do I really want to kill someone? Do I want to be a murderer?
I wouldn't think twice about it. If you're in my
I
home.
would.
You like if you're in my home, you're not supposed to be. All bets are off. Then I'm shooting you. But
You could shoot him in the foot.
now to further your point, you said I'm not saying he should die. He just wasn't some innocent kid. I never implied that he was innocent. I'm just saying that nothing that I have heard it said that he should be gunned down or if anything like just call the police like
I
that's
think
really
he
what
was
it
an
comes-
innocent kid.
not only that, but kids are fucking bratty as hell. They fucking think they think they're above the rules. That's just kids. Like that's
I
how they
think he
are,
was
you
an
know?
innocent kid. Like he was a fucking 16-year-old acting up. Like even if he
Yeah.
did assault the shop owner, Well, I don't see a fucking, he wasn't arrested for it or nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
he
you
should
can't
have been
do.
arrested, and it should have been a scared straight situation. You know what I mean? Like they should have arrested him and taken him down to the station, and then be like, "Are you gonna ever do that again?" And he'll be like, you get your vibe, see if he's about that life or not. And if he is, you book him. And if he's not, and he's just some asshole, he's just trying to see what he can get away with, let him go. He'll never do
It
that shit again. I
literally,
guarantee it.
it literally comes down to, would you have done that to a white kid? Would you have shot that white kid? Probably not. That's why it's
Probably
fucked up.
would've.
It was
Probably would've.
racially motivated. That's what it was. It wasn't just because it was some kid being crazy. It was because it was a black individual. That's what it was. It was a
I just
fucking
don't
hate
think that
crime.
there's a reason to bust out guns on people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking why we're in the position we're in this country in the first place. Everybody's like, we gotta take our guns away. No, fuck you. But like at the same time, I get it. I get it.
But
Because
didn't they
people,
just make no-knock warrants illegal? You told me that, huh?
yeah, no
They
knock
just
warrants
did that.
are no longer a thing in this country. I don't know when that takes place, mind you. You know how that everything's got a grandfather in. Oh man, you're thinking about another fucking case, dude. You're just making shit up now.
There was a lot of cases of black individuals being killed for not a good reason. There was just one recently where I don't know if this individual was killed, but they were shot. A cop shot someone
Oh, the acorn
over
incident.
a fucking acorn falling on his car, and he thought it was a gunshot, and he opened fire.
Dude, that's what I was talking to kind of getting at last week, where like I can't get behind these cops today. Like because I'm I'm definitely a right leaning independent. But I can't I'm just so anti cop because they seem to be the biggest pussies in the fucking world when the job requires badassery, like badassery. You know what I mean? In that, like, you can't be scared of shit. Like, you have to go into that job knowing that you're probably gonna die over it. Like, you just have to kind of accept that. I'm not saying be a sociopath because I don't want that either, but like, you kind of have the same. You have to have the same like instinct that like I don't know, I can't even say I wanna say the military, but they're kinda sociopaths too.
Kind of like how doctors know that if a patient dies, that legally it's not on their hands, but like emotionally it is. You have to be prepared for people dying while you're
I
trying
don't
to
think that
save
covers
them.
it either. I just don't think there's any type of other job like being a police officer, which I
Hmm.
get, and I get it is it's supposed to be like I feel like that's a hard job, but I also feel like I don't think anybody's owning up to it. I don't think anybody is stepping up to the standard of it. So, like, if it's too hard of a job for you, bow out, man. Go be a firefighter or something, you know? Like,
Hmm.
if you wanna be revered as a hero, go be a firefighter, go be a doctor, go be a nurse. You know what I mean?
Right,
But you're not gonna be
right.
revered as a hero, even though you are, if you do a good job as a cop. You know what I mean? You're never gonna be revered as a hero because you're kind of you're kind of getting in everybody's business. You know what I mean? That's the
Mhm,
job. You know, so you
mhm,
kinda have to accept that people are gonna come after you. Like, bad guys are gonna come after you, you know what I mean? And good guys are gonna criticize you, you know? Like, that's the job, and if you don't like that, don't be that, you know? That's the way I look at it, you know? So you have to be like this fucking you have to be goddamn John McClane every day, you know what I mean? Fucking,
yeah, it's a hard job.
"Ho,
I couldn't do
ho,
it.
ho, I got a machine gun," you know what I mean? Like like
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I feel like if you're gonna try to enforce the law, you have to know all of the law. I feel like you should have to pass a bar exam.
I don't understand why is it like, these aren't just, like, um, armed lawyers, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. Like, why do you not have to pass a bar exam to enforce the law? Like, that literally should. Because I've seen, not, I don't want to say all police officers are incompetent when it comes to the law, but I've seen a couple videos where I'm like, that police officer doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, he's
Mhm.
just saying
I've
shit.
been in that situation with a cop before,
Really?
where I was explaining my rights to him in the situation, and he kinda was kinda like like confused, like he didn't believe me. I'm like, "No, I know what I'm talking about here," like like, because what it comes down to is I do fuck shit, so like I have to know my rights going into the situation. But
And someone tried to get into an
that's the other
argument.
thing. We need to take away this whole like. We need to take away the job of like yesterday. Yesterday I was driving somewhere and I seen these like cops with their like gloves on and they were going through some lady's car or whatever, searching her car and everything and trying to fucking, I don't know, find drugs or a weapon. And I'm sorry, but regular street cops, beat cops or whatever, they don't need to be investigators. They're not investigators, first off, because you aren't the government isn't allowing them to be an investigator or a detective because they didn't pass the detective test, whether they failed it or didn't take it. So why the fuck are they going through my car looking for drugs? It ain't no problem. What is it? What is it saying? Uh don't make no problem, won't be no problem, or something like that. Like, if you don't like visibly see me like doing a crime, like if you don't catch me in the act of doing a crime, that shouldn't be your job. You're not a detective. Keep the peace. Like a detective, his job should be to figure out if I'm doing a crime because I'm being sneaky about it. A fucking regular beat cop should not be going through my fucking car or my house with a warrant or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's not that you're giving them too much responsibility for being as dumb as they are. You know what I mean? They didn't pass nothing. They passed the police academy, which means you have to do push-ups. Like, that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know how to load a weapon. Like, you have to be not bitch enough to take a pepper spray. But and I had a point to this that I wanted to make too. Like, I kind of lost where I was going with that. But yeah, no, like they shouldn't be investigators. You know what I mean? They're not. Why are you acting like you need? Oh, you know what? My point was. I think police should be predicated just on keeping the peace, which is
Mhm.
like when you have multiple kids. All right, I have one kid, so I don't really run into this situation as much, but I can see it from mom's perspective, and other people have multiple kids. When one person, this is what police work has become a lot of the time. By the way, is say I have beef with you, and you fucking piss me off or whatever, and I go call the cops, and they did this or whatever, and you honestly probably didn't do shit, or maybe you did, but it was like whatever, and then, you fucking can hear it in their voice. They're just tired of it. You know what I mean? But what when you do that when we were siblings, and if I was fucking with you, what was the first thing you would go do?
Tell mom.
Yeah, you would tell mom. And what would mom say? If y'all don't fucking figure it out or shut the fuck up, I'm gonna whoop both of y'all's asses.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what the police should be doing. The police should be like, if y'all don't fucking figure it out, we're gonna come over there and figure out what we can do to both of y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all both getting charged with disturbing the peace, probably whatever else we can figure out. You know what I mean? That's what the police should be. The regular cops. The street cops. They should be keeping people from shoplifting and keeping the peace and making sure people don't get
Making sure
rowdy. But
nobody's
instead they're fucking
driving
writing
drunk and
tickets
stuff
and
like that.
going through our fucking belongings. Like, this is stupid.
It is pretty stupid. I think it's pretty stupid, honestly. And I'm not okay with having a very heavy or aggressive police force growing up. Like
It's
I
being
respect the police.
militarized, right?
Yeah, I respect the police. I respect their job. I can't do their job. You know what I'm saying? But my opinion of it is me as a law-abiding citizen who is not doing anything illegal, by real terms. You want to talk about like smoking weed? Smoking weed's not fucking illegal. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care where we are. Like, it's not
Oh, it's
illegal. Don't.
illegal. It's illegal
No, it's
where
not.
you are.
First of all, I don't believe that. But also,
Disturbing my peace.
where was I going with that? Also, I shouldn't feel like worried when you walk up to my car. I shouldn't feel worried like when you pull up to my job, because you know what it feels like? It feels like you're looking at all of us like we're doing something wrong, and you just want to find someone doing something wrong. That's what it feels like a lot of times with
Yeah,
police.
dude,
It feels
it's
like
like
you're
because the
looking for
only
a
thing I have to
problem.
do is up their career. I'm a firm believer. Like, I know I'm kind of a like a critic of AI and stuff, but I'm kind of down with replacing police with robots. Yeah, I'm kind of down with that because then you don't have like a robot's not gonna fear for his life.
And they also, yeah, they
You know,
also
there's
wouldn't
no
be.
gray area with a robot. It's black
We
and
also
white.
wouldn't have so many people murdered. You know, like so
Yeah,
many police
they wouldn't
officers
murder
being killed,
people. You know,
or
they
so many
wouldn't
police
have to.
officers wouldn't
And
get killed.
because a robot doesn't get tired. It'll just chase you down until you run out of gas. You know what I mean? Like,
They should invest in that. I'm gonna regret saying that here in like 20 years.
that's it. You know, you're doing a crime, you're going to jail. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I'd be a lot more terrified actually if a robot stepped up to my car,
yeah, imagine like an 8-foot robot just
like a
license
Terminator.
and registration, please. Like, fuck. They wouldn't
Jesus.
even. The thing is, robot wouldn't even need your license and registration because it's probably the way our system is hooked up. They probably already know your license and registration by the time they pull you over. You know, you just get pulled
Right.
over by a robot car, a transformer. It's a car, and then now it's a man. Like,
Did you look at the eclipse, by the way?
a robot will lose charge and eventually stop. Though, solar panels. Um,
The
yeah, I
eclipse.
did. It was pretty cool. I dug it. It was. I liked how everybody was just like, fuck work. We're all going outside, you know, and we're going to see this. You know, everybody was just like, the times have changed. The world is different. Like, at least in America, from what I can see, and really, honestly, all I can see is Cleveland. But, like, I mean, hell, there was a partial eclipse in 2017, and that didn't really make waves like this one. Granted, I know this one was a full eclipse, but like everybody didn't really give a shit in 2017. And then in this one, we were just like, we're not we're not going. It was reported that like there was $700 million lost due to labor stoppage during the eclipse in America.
Makes sense.
And
Because I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
that's what y'all give a fuck about? Like, you see what we are to these people, you
Yeah.
know? So to me, I felt like it was camaraderie amongst the community. Like, I feel like every day that goes by, we're becoming more and more human and less worker. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. For sure. But did you know there was another like conspiracy about the eclipse? A lot of people were saying like it's the end of the world. They're saying it's like the rapture, it's the coming of
everybody says
Christ.
everything is the end of the world. I've lived through Y2K, fucking 2012, fucking this, that, and the other. 2008, the housing crisis, COVID. Like, I'm tired of people saying this is the end of the world. I've heard it enough. I've heard it enough. I'm over it.
Right. I will say though, I watched it on the news because where I was, it was rainy and cloudy that day, so there was no point even trying to look at anything. I watched it on the news, and it was very pretty. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, I was cleaning up again because like I'll just listen to things while I'm cleaning. And when they showed like the eclipse in totality, which means when it's fully over the sun, they just got real quiet and they just showed the eclipse for like a lot of minutes. And don't get me wrong, it was pretty. But tell me why I kind of got uncomfortable and was like, why does it look like the eye of Sauron? Looking at me. Why are y'all being quiet and
I kind
ominous?
of
Like
got
this
that
is like,
vibe too. Somebody else posted the picture of it, because you know how it had like the white ring around it or whatever, and
yeah.
somebody posted that and then said, "Everybody who looked at the eclipse, you have 7 days." Like,
And I
you've
was
seen the
like,
poltergeist, right?
yeah, yeah. And I was telling myself, well, it doesn't count because I'm not looking at it in person. I'm just looking at it through a screen. So it doesn't, whatever effect
Oh,
they
you didn't
think
go out and see it?
I watched it on the news. I couldn't see
You
it
didn't
in real
go
life.
see it
It was
yourself?
cloudy. It was cloudy where I was. It was
Yeah,
rainy and
that's tough.
cloudy. So I was watching it on the news, and they just all showed it, and they all got quiet, and it was cool. It was pretty, but they got quiet for like the whole totality, like 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm like, it's getting weird, y'all.
Oh,
Like,
well, that was probably you saw it on TV. They'd probably turn the volume off.
yeah, like nobody was talking or anything, and it was really creepy. And I'm like, ew, this is weird. Like, I'm
'Cause
weirded out.
everybody, we were like, everybody at where I live was like, we were like kind of like going off, you know, like it kind of like it was like a party, almost like a holiday. Like everybody was outside, we were all chit chatting, and it was nice, you know. Like I don't ever do that, and I feel like most people don't do that. When everybody came outside, we are all talking to each other, we are making jokes, you know, we were catching up with each other.
Oh yeah,
It
very
all in a
social.
5 minute span, you know. Well, it's
Yeah,
probably more
very
like
social.
15, 20 minutes because we all came out early before it, and then we all kind of stayed out a little bit after it and everything. But like, yeah, we during the fucking thing, there was like a few seconds where we were all kind of quiet because we were all kind of watching it happen. But like then, you know, we were all just together, you know, and I loved every minute of it. I'm not gonna lie. It was very, very interesting. As much of an antisocial being as I am, I really did enjoy that.
That's great to hear, honestly, because as you know, I'm kind of antisocial. I'm not kind of. I'm very antisocial. It's just not my thing. But that's good to hear that you can. I don't mean antisocial in a way that like means I'm not like I can't have social interactions or anything. Like when I go in public, I have manners. I'm not like a fucking like shut in. I don't act like a fucking what I'm saying. I have manners and everything. It's just like I would much rather be at home kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's great that you were able to get out and just have like a nice peaceful conversation with people. Don't have to talk about politics, just talking about what's happening now. And when the moon like moved out of the way of the sun and you could see more of it, you could see like the moon. And I don't know, just looking at it, I'm like, that's really fucking cool. Like that you could see the fucking moon and it's just up there big as the fuck, just orbiting us like we're important. Like it's insane. Like the sun's
I'll
just keeping
also
us
say
alive,
there's been a
keeping us
lot of
warm.
stupid out since it happened too, though. Like I don't know, have you noticed it's just like the average IQ dropped like 5 points? Like, have you
Well,
noticed that at all?
you saw that movie Idiocracy, right?
Yeah, but that
So
had
like,
nothing to do with an eclipse.
but
I'm
what
just
you were
saying,
saying,
since the eclipse, I feel like I'm in situations where I'm like on the road or just out in public. I'm just like I'm looking at people. I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's weird because it's like I saw the same thing y'all saw. So like, what the fuck happened to y'all that didn't happen to me? Like,
no, 'cause tell me why. I was thinking to myself, I was like, all right, well, we're gonna see how people act the next day, just in case it did do something fucking weird. I don't know. We're gonna see.
oh
Not
yeah,
like I
people are
really believe
acting
it,
weird for sure.
but people are always weird, aren't they? Like that's
No,
just
I feel like people are acting dumber all of a sudden this past
the
week.
thing is, once humans have reached their like peak evolution, as cool as they're gonna get, as smart as they're gonna get, they're eventually gonna start going down. And I don't know whether or not we've hit our
What does
peak,
that have to
but
do with the eclipse, though?
because you're talking about people being dumber, I think people are just getting dumber. I think that's just what's happening. Like that's just maybe just in America,
You
but
think we
people
peaked as a species,
or maybe not even as a species, maybe just as like
a
who we
society?
are as a society, like as Americans. I think
Oh, as Americans, not a
yeah,
society, but as a nation.
yeah, that's what I think. As in, like Americans are just
That
like,
I could get.
yeah,
Every day that goes by, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like we're like something's gotta give because like every day that goes by, I feel more and more anxious about total collapse of society. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I think everybody is. I think everybody in America is kind of worried about like what's going to happen with this next election. Like, are we going to make it, or are we going to just totally go straight to the depression? Because I think we're kind of getting there, but I don't think we've hit like rock bottom. We're in a depression. Like, it's going to take years to get us out.
well the
I
problem
think
with
we're going to
AI
descend in this next
com-
election.
the problem with AI coming into play, like I just don't understand because like that's gonna kill a lot of jobs.
I don't understand why they're putting so much emphasis on AI when there is so many other situations we're trying to like unless you're using AI to fix the fucking potholes or
They're
fix the
trying to use
education
AI to
system.
fix everything, just fix bureaucracy.
Is
Like
it working?
I don't know. Well, they're not. It's not. They're not. It's not in play yet. Is the thing. They're really trying to get ahead of it so it doesn't just take over the world. Essentially, they're trying to make laws for it and everything right now because you got weirdos making porn with people in it. Like
Yeah.
obviously that's where that was going to go, but like
Everyone knew that for
in
next.
theory, it's supposed to replace doctors, lawyers, uh, politicians, anybody who works in a cubicle, anybody who works in an office of any kind, anybody that pushes
So,
paper, you know,
are we supposed to be living better?
engineering.
Are we supposed? What are we supposed to do? Like, are we supposed to evolve, like, and let the AI take over? None of us have to work. We're all gonna have nice places. We're
No,
all
because most jobs after that are going to be hand labor, and then that's the other thing is that might go away too because then AI will probably figure out how to make effective robots, you know, that can replace the hand work. And then the only thing that makes sense is UBI, which is universal basic income. But I mean, what freaks me out about that is like we can't even get decent like welfare. Like there are people who are disabled who can't work and get $1,000 a month. You know,
yeah,
like what what is gonna happen? Like the best way, Andrew Yang was the person who it like had the best. It still wasn't perfect by no means, but it was like the best proposal for it was everybody gets $2,000 a month, and the money comes from taxing big business who like use autonomy more than they use people or something. Which I don't know how you're gonna come up with that because then you just don't have jobs. You know what I mean? You just have machines or whatever. But like and autonomy is just like replacing people with a robot or whatever. So like a kiosk, like if you go, you know how you go to a kiosk and order your food or whatever, that
yeah,
typically is a person. That's starting to, and people are starting to use the apps and all that.
yeah.
So
I
like,
think I went to a Rally's drive-through the other day, and it wasn't working, but they did have a sign on the front saying, an automated voice will be taking, or something like an automated assistant will be taking your order. Let us know how it goes, or something like that. But it
I
wasn't
hate that
working.
more than talking to somebody on the phone.
Like they're gonna start having like robots taking our order at the drive-through, and like even when they started doing the like, oh, walk up to the kiosk instead of walking up to the counter at McDonald's, I felt kind of like, well, fuck me, right? Like, can't have a fucking social interaction. Got to go straight to a fucking screen. Okay, whatever. Like, get rid of the humans. That's fine. I
Right.
always felt that way, even with the kiosks.
And then the problem with universal income with all that too is sure we'll have in if it works out, we'll all have the things we need, right?
Hmm.
But you and I, if we get universal basic income, that means everybody's getting the same amount of money, regardless. Nobody's making money anymore.
It's
Nobody's.
communism.
It's basically communism, yeah. But nobody's working, so that's kind of where the definition of communism kind of ends because nobody's working. But then you have everybody who ever played the game of Monopoly, essentially, which is capitalism. Everybody who played capitalism before it ended, because that's the end of capitalism. If everybody is on universal basic income, all the rich people at the top now have all the say in government because we can't grow.
Right.
Which I mean, they already do have the say, but there's an opportunity for you and I to grow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but if you and I only make a certain amount of money, I mean, they're making the same amount of money, but they have more money. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
just ended the game with all the money, and we have none. So we get the same $2,500 a month or whatever that they do, but the difference is now they're stockpiling it, so their money they can use their funds to, like
Because there's
leverage
always something.
politics.
Because there's always a catch, like even in like natural disasters and stuff like that, people will stock up on things that you need and then price gouge on them. And
Mhm.
you see what I'm saying? Like you're gonna want some things, and they're gonna say, okay, well, you have to pay this price because we say so, and we're the only one who has it. So what are you gonna do about it? Like
Exactly.
that's what it comes down to.
That
And
was
people
the
are like,
invention of capitalism. Is this is a story? I don't know if this is like proven, but that was pretty much the invention of capitalism. Is there was a banana tree, um, and some guy saw that everybody liked those bananas or whatever, and then he put a fence around the banana tree, claimed the banana tree, the land as his own, and said, "If you want a banana, you got to give me $1 or whatever." And he was like, "Oh, I don't have $1." He was like, "Okay, well, what I can do is I can pay you, you know, 25 cents an hour if you sell my bananas to people, and I don't have to be here. All right." And so you take the money that they give you, give it back to me, and then I'll give you a cut, and then you can buy bananas. And that was the invention of capitalism.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's just what it comes down to. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But I thought I thought where you were going with that was like the bartering system, where okay, well, I have a banana, but I need a pair of socks. So can you make me a pair of socks or get me a pair? You know,
That's
way back.
how it was before capitalism.
Yeah, like way back in the day, it's like, well, I have this and you need this. Well, I have milk and I have silk, and we can trade these things and stuff like that. But then that goes back to like, well, what if there's people who just don't have anything to offer? You know, like I can't make a garden, or I can't, knit, or I can't do
No,
this.
I mean that's where natural selection comes in. Like, like if you can't offer anything, why are you here? Like,
Well, I'm also the kind of person where this is going to be controversial, but I kind of believe like being born, I have a right to food and water and shelter and nothing beyond that. But I have a right to not good food, not
No,
soda, but
here's
I have a
why.
right to food, water, and shelter because I did not choose to be born. Y'all brought me here. So you can't leave me behind. Like I'm alive. Here I am. You have to house me. You know, you don't have to give me a
Here's
couch. You don't
why.
have to give me a TV, but you have to give me a place to live.
Here's why I don't agree with it, and
Why?
I'm gonna put it into terms, um, the way you can understand. Now you're a woman, right?
Yes.
So you're a highly sought after human being by men, right? One way or
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
Do you feel that anybody is owed your body? Do you feel that anybody deserves your body?
Nobody's owed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Do
saying?
you feel like it's your
Nobody's
job?
entitled.
Nobody's entitled to your body, correct. Now here's the thing. We have now proven that all of our food is alive. Meat and plants are all alive, all living. How do you deserve to eat something, murder it, and chew it up and digest it? How are you entitled to that?
Because that's what they do. That's what the animals do. There's animals who eat other
No,
animals. So
yeah.
that's
What do they do, Liberty?
they hunt for it and they go out and get it and they do.
They
But
go
that's
out
what
and
I'm
get it.
saying.
They go
I'm
out
not
and
saying you
get
have
it.
to provide me with
So,
food. Think about ways like
so
you have
you
to have
gotta
like
go out and get
kitchen
it, right?
hygiene.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I can sell you bacon, or you can go out and figure out how to hunt a fucking gazelle. No situation are you owed anything in life. There's no situation. You have to go get it. You have to go make it happen. To me, capitalism is just the the monetized version of hunting, of tribalism and caveman DNA and all that. You know what I mean? Fucking communism makes sense in theory, and I like the idea of communism, but the problem is it's easy to take advantage of as a
Right.
government, you know?
Right. I see what you're saying. I don't know. I just kind of feel like being alive, I'm entitled to certain rights, like
You're
human
not
rights. I
entitled
don't know.
to anything. That's the
It's just what it
problem.
feels
That's
like.
the problem with you women. Y'all think y'all entitled to shit. And most of the time, the shit that y'all get is the shit that men got you. Like,
I feel like I'm entitled to food, water, and shelter just by being alive. Like I don't feel like that shit. I don't feel like you should be able to kick me out as soon as I turn 18. I don't feel like I should be allowed to be up in your house and act like a fucking horrible person. But
that's
I
not
don't feel like
entitled. Entitled means entitled. But you shouldn't be kicked out at 18, but you also shouldn't be a dick. That's
true,
that's being
true.
a tribe. That's being a family. You know what I mean? That's we're a group, and we're working together for a common goal.
Even if
Get
it's
the
like think
food
of a
and
scenario.
the electricity that we need.
think of a scenario where it's like this, like you've heard of like halfway houses or like homeless shelters and stuff like that. I'm not saying I even have to have my own space, but wouldn't you much rather a person live somewhere rather than just be homeless on the street? Like, well, if you're not going to do anything with your life, don't just live on the street and die. Like, go live in this fucking community center where they have to give you food and water and a place to sleep.
But
And
why
maybe
is it
they
my
could
job?
rehabilitate you, you know, teach you some skills and teach you how to like sweep and mop and take care of yourself, maybe help you get a job and stuff like that. But it's got to start at the basics, you know, the food, water, and the shelter. Like, that's just, I feel people are entitled to food, water, and shelter.
I don't,
Being alive.
because you have, even in the wild, you have to hunt it. You know, you have to get it yourself. Even
Right, but
like
it's
out in
illegal.
the
If I
woods.
go get the fucking water out of the convenience store, it's illegal. You can't do that. I can't go get it.
Well, that's where telling the government to go fuck themselves comes into play. That's a whole nother topic, which I'm a firm believer of too. Telling me I can't drink raw milk and give it to my friends and collect raw water or whatever, collect
Right,
rainwater
like the
and smoke
rainwater and stuff
marijuana.
like
Like, this is all fucking nature. You know,
that's
I
kind
got
of
it
how I feel.
myself. Like I've been preaching the last 15 minutes of this episode. I got it myself. Why the fuck can't I have it? Fuck
That's
you.
kind of what I was getting at is like, if I go and get this fish, how can you tell me I'm doing something illegal when
Yeah,
I'm
because you
just
need a fucking
hunting for
fishing
my
license
food?
too. Yeah, I don't fucking agree with that either.
Stuff like that. That's what I'm getting at. It's like when you're trying to take away things that you can't take away from people. Like, you can't tell me I can't collect rainwater. What if I'm collecting rainwater because I want to boil it and drink it because I'm fucking homeless? Like, you can't tell me I can't go fish, or you can't tell me I can't collect this. You can't tell me I can't drink raw milk because it's illegal. I can do what the fuck I want. I'm a person. You
And
know?
I get to a sense that, like, the whole concept of fishing license and game license and hunting license, all that, is to keep uh like what is it, underpopulate, like, to keep the population high of like the fish and stuff, so we don't
Right,
like
right.
overkill and stuff like that, because that's what happened to like buffalo and whatnot. But like at the same time, I want to be like, well, why don't y'all just tell us we can't hunt right now? But then I don't like that either, because then the government can tell me when I can't hunt and fish. You know what I mean? And I don't like that either. I don't like that power they have over me either. I just wish there was a way. When it comes down to it, it's just government is like it's just a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes I feel like they're policing things that don't need to be fucking policed. That's how I feel. Kind
but
of
I
like with
also feel like
cigarettes.
sometimes they're policing and it can be a good thing. You know, like.
Well, yeah, sometimes there are things that need to be policed, but when you want to try to make menthol cigarettes illegal, when we already know that it's bad for us, like, oh, alcohol is bad for you and it's legal and you profit off of it because there's a
But it
tax.
was legalized for a good chunk of a while,
Well, that's why everyone
and
knows it's going to happen to marijuana. Like, you can't arrest us all. Like, that's why I know it's not illegal for marijuana, because you would have us all in the fucking jails right now. You're not going to
yeah,
take me to jail over my weed. That's just not, you're not going to do it. Like, we got
and
bigger
the
issues.
and the problem, well, with the problem, I don't understand why the fuck they always want to ban something like alcohol. I mean, there was a lot that went into the Great Depression, and it never. I've never gotten a straight answer as to like what caused it. I just think there was just so many different things, but alcohol was legalized about 10 years before the stock market crashed, maybe a little bit even longer, even, which probably contributed to that. I have my own theories on that, where that kind of, you also, who started voting in 1920, you know, and started like having rights, like about 9 years before the stock market crashed. I'm just pointing that out. Like, but that mixed with the fact that we weren't allowed to drink. Oh, these women are getting mouthy and I can't drink. Fuck. Like,
I know. Tough times.
that probably killed the economy all across the world, by the way. That was a global depression, for the record. So, but
No,
that's what I'm
women
saying.
got,
But what I'm getting at is, all jokes aside, I was getting at is every time something gets banned, there's like a huge economic, like, consequence, you know?
yeah.
So I don't know why they always do that shit. Like gambling, Well, how are we gonna have sports gambling, but we're not gonna have menthol cigarettes? How are you making fucking sense? How are you gonna have whores on the internet, literal whores on the internet, just showing their pussy for money, but we can't have menthol cigarettes?
Think about it like this.
I'm
That
fine with
whore,
all of those things. I'm fine with all of those. I'm not advocating banning OnlyFans. I'm not advocating banning gambling. I'm a sports gambler myself.
you're
And
just saying
sure,
keep the
I love
same
porn,
energy.
but like, why the fuck menthol cigarettes
Yeah,
and
just
vape?
keep the same energy is what it feels like. Because think about it like this: that whore on Pornhub, as you refer to her to, or OnlyFans, can have sex, show her pussy, get recorded for it, get paid for it, put it on the internet for everyone to see. At 18 years old, right? She get fucking cum all on her fucking face, but she
Ugh.
can't. But listen. Imagine going through that, right? At 18, but you can't have a fucking drink or a cigarette after.
You're making it sound like she just went to war. Okay, calm
That's what
down.
I'm saying. Like you just like she did all that and she can't even have she can't go buy a fucking cigarette. She can't have no fucking joint, no outfit. Fuck you. Because I can go have sex on the internet or I can get my leg blown off at 18, but I can't fucking smoke or drink. Like keep the same fucking energy.
Yeah, because
Make
you
them
can't
the same
gamble
age.
until you're 21. You can't drink until you're 21. Now you can't smoke until you're 20. You can't even have like menthol cigarettes aside. You can't even smoke it under 21 now. You can't smoke weed under 21. Like, but why is she allowed to do porn at 18?
Riddle me that.
That's weird, right?
And you can go join the military at 18. Riddle me that.
You know, like I don't really. I get so creeped out when we start bringing up like Epstein and Maxwell and all that, but like that's it kind of feels like yeah, and just sell your both men and women are selling their bodies.
Because
You
think about
know,
it like this: it's illegal for me to go have sex with a man and he can pay me after, but it's not illegal if he sets up a camera and posts it on the internet.
but yeah, like yeah. Like what? I
So
mean,
what's the difference?
that's different altogether. That's a whole
So what's
other
the
fucking thing.
difference? You know,
But
you
I'm
see what
saying,
I'm
why is
saying?
she allowed to do porn at 18, but she can't smoke, drink, gamble, until 21. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you can't do till you're 21.
Here's a
Why
hot take.
is she allowed
I
to do porn at 18? Like, right
here's a
out of
hot
high school?
take. I think prostitution should be legal.
I
I
think it
think it
should
should
be.
be
I
legal.
think it should be decriminalized. I don't think it should be legal.
I think it should be legal because what's it matter? Like if she wants to go sell it or he wants to go buy it, what's it to you? Like why do you care? Just because you're not profiting off of it? Like if there was no money involved, you wouldn't give a shit. But because
I
there's
don't.
money,
I don't want to live in a nation or a society, where it's um convenient for women to sell their bodies. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that is a selfish. I have a selfish reason for that. I just don't want to fuck some girl down the line who wanted to make a quick buck 3, 4 years prior, and then I catch AIDS. You know what I mean?
so what's it matter if she
Or herpes or something. You
wanted
know?
to catch a quick dick a while ago and fucked whoever she wanted anyway? What's it matter? What's it
Well, I hope
matter?
she doesn't do that either.
But
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like the fact of the matter is that nobody would give a shit if there was no money involved. But because the dude gave her some money after, it's a big fucking deal. But if they want to do it for free, it doesn't matter. So what's the big fucking deal with prostitution? I don't
hey,
understand.
but hear me out. Hear me out. The reason why it's different to fuck somebody and then instead of having sex for money is from a man's perspective, okay? Look at it like this. Now you're a server, right?
Right.
If you're a person handing me a glass of water because I asked you, will you grab me a glass of water while you're over there? And you bring me the glass of water? I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna treat you nice. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you just did a thing for me. But if I pay you and I have to tip you, I'm probably gonna treat you like shit, like you're below me, right?
Right.
So women aren't gonna get treated very well.
They
Prostitution get
already
treated.
don't. So what's the
That's what
difference?
I'm
At least
saying.
they could profit off
Prostitution.
of it.
Well, here's the thing, but there's the lots of reasons they get abused. All the things. Well, I get that they're putting themselves to the body, but then a dude is he's not gonna care about her because it's just a transaction. You know what I mean? He's not gonna care about her. She's now an object. She's now making herself an actual
What
object.
what else is new?
Right. Well, now she's allowing it, but like, also, why can't this dude just get laid? You know what I mean? So he's
Why
downloading all
can't
these
he?
fucking
Why
products.
can't he? That's a
That's
him
what I'm
problem.
saying. He's taking the easy route, probably because he can't get laid. So he's fucking this broad. You know what I mean? Like, does he have herpes? Does he have some kind of like sexual problem? Like, is he fucked up in any type of way? He's gotta fuck her up, and then she's got to live with that the whole rest of her life, and she becomes damaged goods. And I don't want to marry damaged goods as a
But that
man.
happens
I don't want a
anyway.
society of women that think they can just fuck for money and then they can go back to like being a regular girl. You're not a regular girl now. You're a fucking streetwalker, the way I look at it. Like,
What
I'm
does it
fine
matter?
if you
What
want
does
to
it
do it.
matter?
I'm fine if it's decriminalized. But I don't think it should be legalized, because
I think it
now
should.
then
I
we're gonna
think it
start
should.
start doing it all over now the OnlyFans thing, I don't understand what the whole fucking hate is on that. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's whatever. I don't care about that. However, I don't like it when like, I won't date somebody who does OnlyFans and like fucks people on their OnlyFans. Like, I would never, like, even if I was like, oh, but I don't do that anymore. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But like, if
Right.
she was just like playing with herself or whatever on her OnlyFans, I'd be cool with that. Yeah, sure, that's whatever. If that's
And
your only
that's
content
a
you sell,
personal
whatever.
that's a personal opinion. That's a personal choice that you make. Like nobody can make you feel bad about that because that's your own personal feelings. Like I would never make you feel bad about it. But also at the end of the day, that's how I feel about people wanting to have sex for money. Like that's literally their business. I could give less
Yeah, but
fuck.
I hope you understand that it is a selfish reason, but I also personally feel like I'm looking out for the women. Like
Maybe you
when I
are.
have this opinion, I feel like I am looking out because the dudes who want to fuck for money aren't good dudes. You know what I mean? They're not. Not all of them are bad dudes, but they're not by no means winners. You know?
Right. Right. But those bad dudes are probably going to end up having sex with someone anyway. So she might as well get reimbursed for her trauma for the least of it.
Yeah, but then this like I mean, once you put a monetary value on a woman, then she has no value. You know?
We don't have value anyway because you don't pay us for it anyway. So what's it
You
matter?
do. You do. I don't think you realize you guys are the most valuable people on earth.
You don't treat us
That's
like it.
what you're in a fucking relationship. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
What does it
nigga.
matter? I'm saying from a societal point of view, like maybe that's
Oh,
your
so you say
personal
because you
opinion,
don't
but
have
that's
like
not.
rights and you don't have all the rights or whatever. Like, what rights do you not have?
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying I don't have the right to an abortion.
More women own houses than men do in the world.
Okay. Maybe
And you
they
know
did something with
why?
their
You're not
lives.
gonna want to
Why?
hear this as a feminist. You're not. You know why? It's not because they earned it with their money. It's from divorce.
They probably earned it through the fucking shit they were put through in that fucking marriage. Like I don't know what to tell.
Okay,
Like
but
what to tell. Reimbursed every time.
why are 70% of marriages ending, and 90% of those marriages, of those divorces are, um, what is it like started by women?
Probably because the woman had enough. Like I don't
Oh,
blame her.
okay, but hold up. 99% of same-sex marriages between women are into divorce.
Well, it just is what it is.
And
Like
they
people
and
keep
they claim the same shit and to contrast that, they say 75% of gay marriages, like man and man marriages, never end.
So what does that show you? That men need someone more than women need them. So once again, we just want to be independent, and y'all just want to keep us in the fucking house all the time.
I love how y'all always look at that shit like that. It sounds like
No, we
men
do.
are just can be content.
Yeah, with bullshit. Like y'all can be content with a lot of bullshit, and women
That's what I'm
can't.
saying. You guys are the most valuable people on earth because men go way further. Like, are you a feminist? I am a feminist, Kyle. Men go way further in life to achieve stuff for women. Because have you ever seen two gay dudes together? They are
Yeah.
out having fun. They aren't doing nothing that does not appease them. Okay, men will take out the fucking trash when they don't feel like it, just because it appeases y'all. We go out and achieve. We become billionaires. We fucking like they're fucking like for many centuries, men murdered and became kings and just so that they can have women. Like
It
the straight
sounds
man
like
will do so much for women, and
it
then
sounds
y'all
like
can never be happy, which is what makes men, what drives men, because y'all are the most valuable thing on the earth.
it sounds like men are just pussy whipped and it's y'all's problem. Like I don't know what like you acted like that because you loved her and you also wanted to
But
have sex with her. Like that's
the fact that
you know
I'm
what I'm
pussy
saying? Like
whipped
you're
by
pussy
your
whipped.
opinion, the fact that I'm pussy whipped goes to show that like you guys are never happy. No matter what I say, you have the opposite opinion because you guys are never happy.
I think that's just your I think that's just what you've gone through with women on a personal note. I think that's
For
your
sure,
experience.
100%. I'll cop to that, but I'm not the only one that's gone through this.
I don't doubt it. Like there's a lot. I'm not saying anything you've gone through you deserved or anything like not at all. Like your situation is completely different. But a lot of the things you say just sounds like someone on Reddit, like on like a fucking feminist rant. So I'm just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard it before, kind of vibes.
I mean, I'll admit that last year I watched maybe one or two too many Andrew Tate videos. I'm not gonna lie, but like,
I can tell.
um, but like, he's not saying anything I didn't agree with because you know me, I don't just blindly agree with people.
No,
So
you
like,
don't.
you know, like I just like, and I don't blindly agree with everything he says either. I don't even agree with most of this. Like he spouts off a lot of religious shit, which gets annoying after a while. You know, and then he also thinks like he can like because he's top G or whatever, he can fuck anybody he wants, even though he's got a wife and kids, and I don't believe in that either. You know, like I'm not a big the most sexed up man in emo rock is Charlie Sheen from Hollywood Undead. Are you familiar?
No.
You're not familiar with Hollywood Undead. Well, there's a lot. He talks about how he always
I've
trying to
heard of
fuck
them.
and he likes big thick titties and all that shit. That's his entire platform. He's a musician, and there's a line that's always stuck with me. He said, um, "I'm gonna get drunk, then I gotta break up with my girlfriend so I can bang sluts." And even the slimiest dude in emo metal won't cheat.
That's what I was just gonna say. You know what? He's not slimy because he broke up with her. He didn't even fucking cheat on her. Like that was some
Exactly, you
hardcore
know?
shit.
I
Like
don't believe in cheating. I don't believe in sleeping around. I'm not a
me
big fan of
neither.
that. Which is the same
Me
reason why
neither.
I don't believe in prostitution really is just like it's icky. Both of them
People
are
can
icky.
sleep around if they want. Who? What does it matter? Like I don't care if people sleep with whoever the fuck they want. I don't
I don't
believe
like
in
that. I don't
cheating.
sleep I
I don't
kinda
believe in
sleep
cheating.
around when I was younger. I like but like I'm not proud of it. I was way more proud of it then than I am now about it.
Right.
But and I never cheated on anybody, but I definitely, you know, like sowed my wild oats or whatever the fucking saying is, when I was like 19, 20. But like, no, I'm not proud of that, and I
But I
don't condone
think
it.
but that's the thing. People are going to think differently, you know. So when you're worried about these things, that's definitely something you would bring up if you're trying to get into a relationship with somebody. You know, I'm very serious about
I do bring
sexual
it up now,
history.
and
Like,
it's why I've been single for damn near
right,
4 years now.
right, and you
So
will eventually find someone who believes the same thing as you. Because I just don't believe that. Like, I'm not going to judge you for who you are and who you've slept with. If you're clean, you're clean. Like, who am I to judge what you've done, you know? But that's not ever the same for everybody. That's not how you believe. And maybe my views will change when I get older. But I believe in telling people. I believe in respecting people, you know? Like, if you want to know, I'll tell you. If it's a deal breaker, if I don't want to tell you it's a deal breaker, I'll respect something like that, you know? But I don't think it has to be like, the biggest deal. But for you, it is. And you will eventually find a woman who it was a big deal for her too. And you're just going to find people who think differently.
yeah, I'm also grimy though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, uh, uh I'll if a woman I won't ask. I never ask and I never make a move like that. But like if a woman wants to sleep with me on the first date, I'll sleep with her, but I won't continue dating her. Like that's how I know. I'm like, oh no, she's not for me. You know, like, and that's probably shitty because I still slept with her, but like,
No,
like,
that's a personal choice because maybe women are out there making that same decision. Maybe they're like, no, he had sex with me on the first date. Like he's a player. I'm not going to continue doing it. Like maybe there's someone out there who thinks the same way as you, and maybe you'll find each other one
you know,
day. But
I've
I'm not
also
going to
wondered
shame
that if
you for
women are
that.
like that.
I'm not going to shame you for that at all. Like that's just a personal decision. Like you can't be mad. People think differently.
Right. Like, and I'm not even saying I can't be friends with her after that, but like, I don't know. I also just don't like women, like as and
I've
not
noticed.
not that I hate them or I'm misogynist or whatever. Kind of am, but like, I don't want to be friends with women. Like, they don't, they're not. I we don't go together like that. Like, I could be your man, and I'll be your protector, and I will like take on the whole world for you. But I'm not trying to be your friend. Like, you know
Well,
what I mean?
mostly
Like.
because that's not your fault. Mostly because when you've tried to be friends with women in the past, they've tried to get you in trouble and say things like you're trying to cheat on me or stuff like that when you never were. Like I can attest to this. You've never flirted with any girls you were actually trying to be friends with, but they always took it as flirting. You know why? Because some women can't deal with a
I'm
man who
fucking
just
hilarious. That's why.
some women can't deal with a man who just wants to be their friend. They always think there's an underlying thing. So it's, oh, he was, laughing with me. He was flirting with me. That's what that is. He's a fucking cheater and a player. So that's probably the vibes you get from women. And you're probably offended, as you should be, because I'm just being
Usually, yeah,
friendly
man.
and you took it as flirting. Like that's your fucking fault. So
Mhm.
I understand why you're not friendly with women
Oh, and
because
then
they
on the
take it.
opposite spectrum, I've run into like a handful of women since I broke up with my ex. About I guess about 3 years ago now. Where like I don't know, they just gave me the ick after a second. Like something just gave me the ick about them. So I just didn't want to fuck them. When I was like, oh, we can still be friends or whatever. You know what I mean? And oh my god, the tantrums I get for saying no, I don't want to have sex with you. Like,
Yeah, that's something that women definitely need to work on.
oh my god, I thought men were bad. I've only ever been told men are fucking bad, mind you, because like I've never personally seen it because I don't pout if you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood or whatever. But like I've been told my whole life, men are pigs and they act like crazy because they feel entitled to another woman's body or whatever. But I feel like entitlement, like I said earlier, what is it? Callback and the full circle. I feel like women are more entitled than men are. I do, which is where again why men have such a drive to become kings and get promoted and all of this over course of history. It's because
But
of y'all's
do you
value
know
and y'all's
why?
entitlement. We go further. We're way better at being content. Have you ever seen a dude who is not interested in dating? Have you ever been to a guy's house who's not interested in dating?
No.
They have a lawn chair and a six pack of beer, a TV, and an Xbox, and that is it. And a fucking blow up bed. That is it. That's all they ever have. They don't even have food in their refrigerator because they go fucking to Pizza Hut or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. But also to just to like sum something up for you, the reason that and I'm not giving any excuses women shouldn't act like this. I'm not condoning it. But the reason why women act like that when you tell them you don't want to have sex is because they've probably never heard that before. Because men,
what?
I hate to be rude, but men will fuck anything. So when a man says, no, I won't have sex with you, it's like the most jarring thing some women have ever gone through because they've never encountered a man who didn't want to have sex with them.
Yeah, because
Because
dude,
that's mostly what men
like
are after.
all three of them told me, oh, like they started spilling rumors to like our inner circle or whatever. Like, not that I had an inner circle, but like our circle, which is a pretty vast circle. Because a couple of them were comedians. Like they started like trying to spill rumors that I was gay because
Right.
like
And
I'm like,
it's not even being gay. It's just
which I
having
don't care about because I'm
it's
not trying
having
to fuck
standards.
dudes. So I don't care if y'all think I'm gay. 'Cause I'm not like that's not gonna hurt me fucking women. Like that's not because like You know, no woman's gonna assume I'm gay. Only dudes are, and I'm not trying to fuck them. So what do I care if they think I'm gay? You know?
Right, right. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not excusing women's behavior at all. I think it's atrocious the way they act when they're told, no, I don't want to have sex with you. But also, I think it just comes
Have
down
you
to
encountered this though, like from friends or whatever? Like, and obviously not you specifically, but like, have you heard
I've
through
seen
the
situations like,
grapevine or whatever?
yeah, like chicks have told me stories where like, oh, this guy said he didn't want to fuck. He must be gay. That's what that is. Like, da, 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 da. Like I've heard that before. I have.
Why
So
can't you just take the L? Like, why
because
can't like what is it with women? Why
they
can't they just take the L and like
but they've
improve?
never taken an L before. That's the thing. Like people are getting more and more standards. Standards are definitely becoming a thing. Like, and that's I don't think it's all men. I just think some men will fuck anything. A good man, like who has good morals and standards, will not fuck anything. But not everybody meets men like that. So in your experiences, you've met men who only wanted to fuck you. And the first time you meet someone with standards and morals and says, no, I don't, it's just like the craziest thing in the fucking world to them, you know?
Not your boyfriend leaving that apartment in this middle of this discussion. I don't want no smoke. But yeah, no, women are
Setting standards.
they're an enigma. You know what I mean? And I think like I'm actually very pro equal rights. Um like I believe that the women should have the right to choose.
But I think men should
I
have the right
really
to
do. I do
choose
believe
also.
like obviously like that I do believe in abortion, but that has nothing like I believe that if a woman wants to be equal to me, she should be allowed to be equal to me. But if she also wants to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever, or a trophy wife or whatever, she should be allowed to do that too. I do.
Yeah, and I
I don't
think
think a
also
man should have that right. I was a stay-at-home dad for 2 years, and oh my god, women cannot handle it. Because like as soon as a woman is the breadwinner, it's you're a bum. Like I'm not
straight up, straight up, straight up, gonna have no peace in the house, straight up. But I think that there should also be, this is a little off topic, but when it comes to things like responsibility and stuff like that, I think when you have a baby at the hospital, after you both parents sign the birth certificate, you should both have to sign a consent form stating that you have taken responsibility for this child and you have the rights to this child. Anything that happens is on you. And if you don't sign it, that's not your responsibility because you didn't own up to it. You know how like
Oh,
a lot
okay. So
of times,
like that's kind of like the antithesis to or the antithesis, I guess. I don't know. I've been corrected on my pronunciation of that word recently. But so it's like the antithesis of abortion, is what you're saying. Because I've
yes,
always
so
thought that a man should have the right to choose to leave
yes,
before the baby's born, by the way. I don't think
yes.
he should be allowed to leave after the baby's born if he
No,
stayed.
that's a little
Mhm.
fuck. That's why I'm saying like after like when the baby is like born and it's come the time has come, like you need to make a decision, like are you going to take care of this baby? If not, if you say no, like say it's a situation where a man has confidently told this woman, I did not want to have a baby with you. I wore a condom. I thought you were on birth control. I didn't want to have a kid with you and you want to have it anyway. Okay, well, when that paper comes for me to sign, I'm not signing it. And I'm also not going to have to pay child support because I told you from the start I did not want to have a child with you
Right.
or just a child at all. And I think they should, if you know, and obviously, if say a man does do that, then they'll help the single mother or whatever like that. And say both parents say no, I don't want to have this baby. Give it up for adoption. I don't want to be responsible. They should be
It
allowed
would
to.
definitely stop the horror society too.
It
That we're
would.
kind of building, you know what I mean? I feel like we would have less strippers, we would have less OnlyFans models, we would have less porn stars or whatever, because then you have less women who have the excuse of, oh, I just have a single, I'm just a single mom and his dad's not around or whatever, so I'm just gonna be a
Yeah.
whore now because I was a whore then. Like,
Yeah.
no, like you're not using children as a fucking paycheck. Fuck you,
Yeah.
bitch.
So
Like,
instead of having to have that responsibility, having to make you pay child support, even though you never agreed to having a child with this person, and say you took all the necessary precautions and stuff like that, I think you should legally be allowed to. And you know what? It goes both ways. Because say one day you're like, damn, I made the wrong decision. I want to be a part of that child's life. Well, damn, you gotta wait till they're 18 now. because you
Right.
signed a paper saying you never would, and that's on you.
And and it should also be punishable by crime to try and reach out until the child's an adult. Like
Yes, because you
if
let
you
go
you know
of your rights.
it's holding both parents accountable,
Yes,
you know, and
100%.
we don't hold women accountable enough yet, I feel like.
And it would be the same thing for women. So if women wanted to give up their rights and you don't want to pay child support, you don't want to have this baby, fine. You can't talk to them until they turn 18. But I know
Well,
because you
I
don't
don't
want to
think a
contribute.
woman's gonna go through full-term pregnancy and not like very rarely do they ever reach out like after that, like after they adopt or whatever. But yeah, I don't think like what situation would a woman go through an entire 9 months of pregnancy and then not keep the child? You know what I
So
mean?
I heard a story on Reddit, I think it was, about how this guy was saying how he wants to try to sue his baby mama for child support because he made an agreement with her in the very beginning that when he got her pregnant, she did not want to have a baby. She didn't want to ruin her body. She just didn't want to raise a kid, all that stuff, right? So he like said, okay, that's fine. I'll be a single dad. Like I'll take full responsibility if you have the
She
kid.
already
And he
ruined her
said,
body by
"Fine."
having the baby. Like what the
And
fuck?
he disclosed in the story that for some reason he thought that her motherly instincts would kick in and she would want to have this baby. She would want to raise the baby with him. But after they had the baby, he was stuck taking care of the baby while she was off having like laser
That dude's a
surgery.
bitch. That dude's a bitch.
She was like working
Oh,
out and she
she
was
would
like,
change. That's a fucking bitch, bro. That's what every woman says. The
yeah,
fuck out of here with that
yeah.
shit. Nobody changes.
And the chick was trying to like, she was getting her stretch marks removed. She was working out. And he was like, I just didn't think it was going to end this way. Even when she told him, she straight up told him. And he was, I don't know, a lot of people were just like, nah, you're an asshole, dude. You're in the wrong because she told you from jump.
Oh, he's in the wrong.
She told, because
He
she
is.
told him
He
from
is in the
jump.
wrong, for the record.
He
But so
is.
is every fucking bitch who collects child support. Okay? I don't care. If you can't financially take care of your child, you don't deserve your child.
But I think that's what a part of that story was that she was paying child support, but it was still too much for him on an emotional aspect. He wanted a partner to help raise the baby, but she
So
just
he
didn't
felt
think
he was being spiteful because he felt jilted, which honestly is what every fucking woman does. That dude's a bitch. That dude's a bitch. Fuck that dude. He doesn't get any more of my sympathy than any fucking female does. I'm sorry. If you're a bitch, you're a
right.
bitch. That's the way I look at it.
And that's what
Stop
it
being
comes
a
down
bitch.
to. That's why,
You took responsibility of that child. If I could take responsibility of that child, I gotta deal with my baby mama. My baby mama does not parent the way I do. Okay, now I'd knock that bitch up. That's on me. Ain't shit I can do about it, and that's my fault. And I can't fix that problem. I knocked her up when I was 20 years old, and we are not compatible as partners, and we are not compatible as parents. But all I know is all I can do is do my best when he's with me, our son. So
yep,
that's all I can do. That's all I can do. You know.
that's all you can do. And I think you're doing the best job that you can do, honestly, with the card that you've been dealt. I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note,
That was a lot
it was
today.
a lot.
I feel like every episode we just push the envelope more.
Well, yeah, because now we're treating this like our weekly phone call instead of hashing it out over the phone all the time. We're doing it on the podcast, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think we're getting better at it too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know you had nerves or whatever the first few times, but I think you're just getting used to it now. Like you said, we're just treating it like our phone call. So,
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, this was a good one. This was a good talk. I think we hit
yeah.
all the bases on this one.
Is there any like less like I don't know, heavy topics that you wanted to discuss? Anything going on in your life personally that you want to talk about? Or
No, I'm just rewatching Law and Order and hanging out, cleaning my house, smoking weed. That's pretty much all
I'm
I do.
getting prep for my birthday. I got my little comedy roast next Sunday. Not
Yeah,
tomorrow, but the next Sunday.
that'll
My
be
birthday is
great.
next Sunday. I'm gonna be 30. We're getting
Yep.
old. We're getting
Here it
old.
comes. Here it
Right.
comes. 30. And I
This
feel
is
like
the beginning of the end.
yeah. And
Like
I
that's the
just
way I look at it.
on
You know?
on that note, just don't let anybody disturb your peace. Just whoever's out there, don't let anybody pull those emotions from you because nobody should have that power over you. Keep your
I don't-
peace.
I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as, oh, you fucked up because I'm a lot. Like, now you're gonna understand why you don't pull these emotions out of me. Like, like, so, that's your responsibility, not mine. Like, you don't do fuck shit to me and think I won't react. Okay, so, but yeah, yours is probably more mature and responsible. But
All right, well,
peace out, guys. Check out my roast next Sunday on YouTube exclusively. Well, not exclusively, but like exclusively online live. People are gonna be calling me names. My sister is gonna be calling me names. I'm probably gonna call her names. I hope she's been writing jokes.
I have.
It might be her introduction to comedy. We'll see. She's been talking about wanting to do that. Tuesday, I got hammered and cheese. I don't know what we're doing just yet. I gotta discuss with my buddy Dino, his other co-host. Also this Wednesday we're gonna do sketched out. We're gonna do that's where we kind of interview people who do funny sketches. And next Saturday, not this Saturday, but every other weekend I do every other weekend meals with my son Jack. I'm thinking chicken dinners or something fun, since it's kind of my birthday dinner. And every other Monday, next Monday, not this one coming, but we do with my buddy Atlas Novak, we do last minute history. Check us out. Appreciate you and bye.
All right, good night, folks.